When the chips are down, betting on Vedanta's Anil Agarwal has historically paid off. However, with the current tailwinds back in the Vedanta group, how does he see the future unfolding? Let's welcome the non-executive chairman of Vedanta Limited, Mr. Anil Agarwal. Thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC TV18, Mr. Agarwal. Well, before we get chatting on the group, I wanted to get your expectations from the newly formed government, particularly with the budget in the next 1 month or so.
It's not me. The whole world was watching. The largest democracy and largest voter has casted peacefully. This has shown to the world how the election happened, how the democracy works. So not me. Everybody was very pleased the process which was run, and the expectation is tremendous. The India is in the sky. Everybody is looking forward to invest in India, work with the India, connect with the India. So it's a great time for us.
And you're quite optimistic on the prospects for the next few years. And as we say, the next decade will belong to India. But let's focus on the metal space. And everyone's talking about this melt up in the metal cycle. Which stage of the cycle are we in? The early stage, mid stage, or late stage?
We are on a super cycle. We are in a super cycle. If you see, no major natural resource production has come up last 5-10 years, and this is the one which is a huge gap. I'm only thinking because especially in India, where everybody is finishing steel, aluminum, copper, zinc, every metal. But we have so much of resources. In terms of demand, there is a double-digit demand. But in terms of developing the resources, is very small, a single digit. So we have to be very focused so we don't have to import our raw material.
All right.
But the cycle is super cycle.
Let's focus on your company then, Vedanta Limited, Mr. Agarwal. You have put out this ambitious guidance. You're talking about $10 billion of EBITDA. Could you tell us how confident are you about getting there? And if you could fill us in with the timeline as well.
You know, this kind of company does not come by in the world. This kind of portfolio, because these businesses are very difficult to replicate or to start. It takes 10 years, 8 years to start, and require billions and billions of dollars. So as far as Vedanta is concerned, we always remain focused. We always remain either on the below the ground. We always focus on below the ground. When everybody was saying not supporting us, even at that time, I remained focused below the ground. And even today, now, everybody is talking about that India has Sone ki chidiya. We have enough resources. This is the time, because we can use today's technology, and using today's technology, we can be on the highest level of protecting environment.
So you continue to remain confident about that $10 billion of EBITDA, right?
$10 billion is if you look at, we are the largest producer of zinc, silver. We are the only people in India doing the largest recycling of our slag, which is the most environmental friendly. So we are very, very, very confident. Aluminum, we are the largest producer, 3 million ton integrated, everything. If you look at our iron ore, we are going to produce 70 million ton of iron ore. If you look at our oil and gas, I'm so excited about oil and gas. We have offshore, we have onshore. We are the people who are producing and started exploring, and the drilling program in the Northeast, especially in Big Boy and all the Assam area. So very excited about oil and gas. Each of our assets are a trophy asset.
Okay.
Each of our asset is a future of India. As you know, we are in renewable energy. We do the transmission. We produce largest optical fiber. We make our own glass.
Yes.
transmission. So we are a range of business on technology side as well as natural resource side.
Now, you've talked about all these businesses, put it together, but also what the street is looking forward to is the demerger of these businesses. Could you tell us the timelines and have approvals come through?
Yeah, it's all done. It's all, we have got majority of lender approval. We are in the process. NCLT take time and go through a whole process, which process will take place, and then it will be demerged.
So by the end of this fiscal year, we could have the units separated, 6 listed entities of the Vedanta Group?
I think so, because certain things are in my hand, certain things are not in my hand.
Okay.
It is in the hand of NCLT. NCLT normally take 3-4 months time, but sometimes they can take 1 or 2 months more also.
The other focal point, Mr. Agarwal, is the steel business. I'm aware that you're in conversation with various buyers, and maybe in the next couple of quarters that should get closed out. How sure are you? In the first half of this fiscal year, should we see that steel asset getting sold at a good valuation? You want to give us a hint of the valuation you're looking for?
See, first of all, on the demerger, it was absolutely important because each of our business is a independent business. And my vision is to time to come, each of the 6 businesses will be as big as Vedanta itself, because the huge demand and the demand is double-digit growth. So I'm very excited about to create value for my shareholder. Each of my shareholder will get, if he has a 1 share of Vedanta, will get 6 share of demerged company. So that was on demerger, and that was the right thing to do, making a very strong with the management. As far as the steel is concerned, steel, we are one of the best prime location of a steel asset, which is in Jharkhand, near Bokaro, is in the Bokaro. We have a proximity of all the raw material, iron ore and the coal. We are proximity of all the railways. We are proximity of all the gas. So this is the best location for anybody to start production of steel. Very clearly, our Prime Minister has said that there will be 300 million ton of steel production. And India is at the moment producing only 120,000 ton. So the huge demand supply gap in steel. So this is the one thing which is a brownfield, which can produce 20 million ton of steel. So we have put this asset on the basis that if we get 1.2 billion per million ton, we have a 3.5 million ton of plant, which at the moment we are producing close to 2 million. 3.5 will be by end of this year. So we are 100% sure that if we get $1.4 billion and get not the distress sale, if somebody has a vision to produce, take it forward, we will look at, and if we get a price of $1.2 billion per million ton, we may consider to take the view.
All right. So your ask is that per million ton, you want around $1.2 billion. Are we getting that correct?
3.5 million ton. 3.5 million ton.
So what is the total valuation you're seeking for this 3.5 million ton plant?
Yeah, around 4.5.
4.5. Okay, all right. That appears to be a tall ask. And how confident are you that you see, this getting closed out in the first half of the fiscal or sometime during the fiscal itself? Because valuation-wise, it's quite a tall ask.
No, we are very comfortable. Every of our shareholders want us to be in the steel business. We are already producing almost 2 million ton steel in Goa. So both put it together, it will be 5.5 million ton. We have strategically decided not to be in a steel business or become very big in the steel business. So we are getting very good response internationally and nationally. This is a very good, if you look at, this is the norms of the price, 1.2 billion, because the assets are not available. If anything comes, we look at, otherwise we'll keep expanding our plant.
Well, time to slip into a snappy break, but we've got lots more to chat on with Mr. Anil Agarwal. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're tuned into this very special conversation we're having with Mr. Anil Agarwal. Let's talk about the zinc assets as well. That stock price itself of Hindustan Zinc has more than doubled in this calendar year itself. Any conversation with the government of India? We were talking about an OFS as well a few months ago. When do you expect that to happen? Hindustan Zinc's OFS stock price is up 100%.
Yeah, see, we are the only producer in the world as a major producer. If you produce 300 million ton of steel, which is India going to produce 300 million ton of steel, then you need 3 million ton of zinc production. We are only producing 1.2 million ton. So it is a question, and no, you cannot start zinc mines again. So this is the one which is the business which we are going to expand at least 2 million ton time to come, because that is the requirement. I'm always averse about import, and I always want import substitute. So the zinc will be very good. Silver, we never produce in our country silver. We are the people who mine, we did the research and development. Today we are producing 800 million ton, which is going to be almost 1,500 ton of silver, which excites me very much. And then we have a recycling. We have the largest heap and recycled material available in Hindustan Zinc, which has the cobalt, which has the platinum, which has the gold, which has the silver. And we have started the project, and we are going to have a recycling business into Hindustan Zinc also. So very excited about Hindustan Zinc. Hindustan Zinc can be any price. It can be $100 billion company. It is a company, and whenever government want to sell, they can sell. Right. So I don't want to make any comment about the government move. Whatever they decide, they are most welcome.
All right, but you haven't heard about a potential OFS in the near term?
We hear every time. It is always in the government's mind to sell the share. They call us, they decide us, they give the mandate to the bank. But action has to be taken, and I'm sure something will happen.
Okay, all right. So we've got that out of the way. What about at the parent level? That's the fear from a India stock holder's point of view. How is Vedanta Resources placed? On the debt, in the last few years, you've gradually been repaying some debt. And now you're far more comfortable if you even talk about it, in comparison to what it was 2 years ago. It was close to around $10 billion, which has come down drastically. What's your message to the shareholders here of Vedanta Limited? Vedanta Resources is comfortable, and what's the deleveraging plan at Vedanta Resources?
See, the total debt on the Vedanta Resources, Vedanta Limited is the subsidiary of Vedanta Resources. All put it together, the total debt in the company is $12.5 billion, which is not even one and a half time or 1.2 time of the profit what we made. As far as the total debt on the top is concerned, we have the trophy asset on the top, which is, we own the largest copper deposit of the world called Kankola Copper Mine, which is on the top. And people are looking forward from us. Would you like to dilute some equity into the KCM? We haven't thought anything so far, but this is the one asset which is not everybody has. Largest deposit, highest grade of copper in Zambia, and the Zambian government is very positive. They want to take it forward.
Yes.
It has the only company which has one of the largest deposit of cobalt, and cobalt is a very prime material. So with these two, I think we are very comfortable to address the debt. We have a good cash flow and good dividend that should take care of all the debt payment of VRL.
Okay, all right. So you're confident that VRL will meet all its obligations for the coming year. That's FY25, FY26, right?
Perfect. And as you said, that steel asset, copper asset,
yes,
so much of opportunity comes.
Yeah.
But we are very well planned. Everybody is comfortable with our debt payment, which we have planned
Yes.
everything and everything being paid on time.
All right.
But Vedanta has never ever defaulted. It's the first generation I've started this company, and never ever we have ever defaulted any of our payment in our life.
Okay, since you spoke about KCM, will you look at, since you believe there is so much potential over there and there are various offers that people want to buy some equity in there, could you look at folding in KCM into the listed entity Vedanta Limited? Would that be an option?
I don't know. At the moment, it is with the private company on the top. I'm ready to do anything possible which can help my shareholder. I'm very keen on India. I promise to Government of India, because they are very keen that we should acquire asset in Africa for the copper. Copper is going to be very critical metal.
Okay.
And I promise that the first preference of Kankula copper mine, copper will go to India. For me, nothing is more important than I see more and more industry comes up. Today also 6,000 companies, 100% feed comes from us.
Okay.
I'm looking the 6,000 to go to 16,000. Time to come, where more and more industry come, more and more entrepreneur come, and that is even my most satisfaction.
All right. So all options open with regard to KCM. If, either some equity dilution or maybe you could fold it into the listed entity as well. Is that correct, Mr. Agarwal?
Yeah, anything, and we have never thought of, for us, most important to have the best, to take out the best potential of KCM.
Okay, all right. The Vedanta Limited stock, that's bounced back, and it's bounced back in a huge manner. I remember we spoke in October 2023. At that point of time, it was less than half of what the current price is. And added to that, you've also given dividend. What's the plans with regard to your holding in the company? It's come down a little bit to around 61.5% or thereabouts. Will you look to reduce stake further? And also, are there any plans of diluting equity? Because there's big demand for the stock today. So could that be an equity offering, a QIP or something on the cards?
We have 62%, 61 point something percent of holding on the of the company, and we are comfortable. And for me, nothing is more important than putting India into the world map. That we are natural resource company, we are iron ore producer, we are copper producer, we are aluminum producer, we are silver producer, zinc producer. This kind of portfolio is not there for me. Taking it forward to a different level as a world-class company, because the demand is so high, and we are people there. I think we have so much of good internal accrual. We may not require. We will be spending about $8 billion for our expansion, and that will come from the internal accrual. We don't need to dilute, but whatever is required for me, holding only for the purpose, how can I make my company as a world class? For that, if any, because I'm not an expert, any investment bankers comes and gives me some idea, we will work on. At this point of time, there is nothing on the card to take our holding down below 61.5%.
Got it. Okay, clarification out there. Also, Mr. Agarwal, Vedanta Group has spread its wings across various sectors, metals, semiconductors. Is there any new, industry or segment you want to foray in? Nuclear or anything new that's come to your mind?
No, I'm very bullish on. We are one of the largest in the power sector. We produce almost more than 13,000 megawatt of power. We produce 4,000 megawatt of renewable. We are largest in transmission. We are looking forward transmission business to be expanded. We are the largest producer of optical fiber. These are our businesses which are related to us. We remain in this business for last 10, 15 years. We will remain focused on this business. We are very excited about each of our business is going to be the world class. And our biggest, my focus is always money. Money is very, very important. It's a byproduct because kind of business we do. For me, how can I create more and more employment in our company, more and more entrepreneur in my company? I think we have produced maximum entrepreneur in the country. We have produced maximum employment in the country because mining takes most of the people.
Yes.
For me, there is nothing more important than creating more income for the people. I have very strong feeling middle class people which will have $5,000 per capital GDP from the $2,000. Everybody needs is excited. Everybody is impatient, and there's a lot of expectation from this government. And we will be one of the part to make sure these things come forward.
Okay, all right. So we've got some color on the listed entity with some focus on all the segments, Mr. Agarwal. Also, you're clear about debt obligations at Vedanta Resources. So let's turn our attention a little bit away from the listed entities and from the metal focus. Could you narrate to us one instance that you would like to narrate to budding entrepreneurs and they can take heart from? Because you've mentioned this numerous times. There have been challenges, but your focus has been to overcome them.
India is a country of entrepreneur. India is a country of opportunity. It is better than America. And the kind of government, what we are looking for, the most important thing is the land reform or digitalize. If the land is acquired as quickly as possible, you will see how the fast industrial growth takes place. We are looking self-certification. Everything you do, whether you do income tax, whether you do municipal tax, whether you do electricity bill, all are post. So very, very important that the self-certification, more and more India government will start trusting the entrepreneur and the people on the self-certification. In that basis, we will double our speed of our industrialization, job creation, and everything in the country.
All right, Mr. Agarwal, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks a lot for joining in here on CNBC TV18. We wish you all the best as you believe that the metal cycle is in a super cycle. You have your eyes set on that $10 billion of EBITDA, and on the steel asset, well, all options are on the table, and we look forward to the demerger of all the various verticals as well. Thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC.
Thank you very much. CNBC is always the top broadcaster and people love it. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.